Welcome to your free university class.
Free? My goodness. Such high production values and obvious attention to detail, and all it's gonna cost me is my worthless time. Amazing. Here's hoping that's not going to turn out to be unbelievably overpriced anyway. That would be very embarrassing.
God exists and it's obvious.
Well, I'm convinced. I mean, here I was thinking that I was an atheist because of how completely underwhelming everything that has ever been used to prove God has ever been, when what I should have been doing was just saying that it's obvious and believing in him regardless of that. Shows how stupid I am. Not very, apparently.
So, every day I'm going to choose some random topic from this textbook.
I don't mean to be pedantic, it just kind of happens, but isn't the topic always going to be biology? I mean, sure, there are more specifics that it's likely got in it, but you're always going to be talking about the general field regardless of those specifics. So it's not exactly random, is it? It's like holding up a book called Money and then talking one day about finances and the next economics, or a different book called Alcohol and then talking about sea whiskey, or potato whiskey, or grape whiskey. It's all whiskey, baby.
It's a first-year university textbook. Biology 8th edition by Campbell and Reese.
Wow, she already sounds completely checked out of her own quote-unquote lecture. Imagine setting up all this nothing and then not being excited about sharing such amazing information with the world.
Concept 6.6. The cytoskeleton is a network of fibers that organizes structures and activities of the cell. So we're going to go to page 112.
Lots of weird things about this video so far. I mean, for starts, I can only assume that you haven't actually read the thing. I mean, if you're going to be reading random portions and jumping around like that, it speaks to a lack of foundation. A lot of primary science education is about building a base to construct your knowledge upon. Without certain facts in your toolbox, you're going to struggle to understand some of the more complicated stuff. Also, that's just not how lectures work. I mean, sure, the topic may feel random, but a professor will usually pick the subject for a reason. They, as a rule, aren't just throwing darts at a board and doing whatever they land on. Imagine how impossible it would be to pass your exam if that's how that shit worked. Damn.
Here's a cell. That's a cell.
Holy f***a-doodle, what is going on? And for those of you thinking, sick, why did you leave in all the gaps? I didn't. This was after cutting out so many other pointless bits, with her just flipping the page or dicking around doing nothing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Would theists please stop wasting your audience's time? You have so many ways to edit these videos or write a script to keep on point or whatever, that when you don't do that, it just means that you aren't interested in making a video that will actually invest people into your ideas. And one assumes that you think your ideas are pretty good, so why do so many of you insist on presenting them in the shoddiest way possible? If I were your god, I would be pissed at how ineffectual you are communicating, because it's my job to do that all the time by not existing.
You have things inside the cell.
Oh, I take it back. This class is worth every penny. That level of precision is only available at the highest echelons of the academic world. Hopefully she's not going to jump right into there being stuff as well. I don't think my tiny little mind could take the overwhelming specificity. Fuck me.
You have a nucleus, and you have other what are called organelles. And throughout the cell, you've got a network of fibers. They're called fibers, but they're actually bridges that bridge together different parts of the cell.
Right, so I have no idea how accurate this is, aside from the nucleus. I remember that from, 5th grade biology? Good job, but I have started chopping out the endless fucking silence to make this slightly less unbearable for you guys to watch. And yeah, she still made that so fucking boring. Biology is fascinating. Cells are these incredibly cool, complex machines. They can do all sorts of interesting shit. And she has managed to make it sound like the most uninteresting topic imaginable. Seriously, even if you thought he's wrong and an asshole, the last thing you could ever say about our best friend Kent Hovind is that he made what he was talking about dull, insane and wrong and often just lies, but not dull. Come on, girl, get it together.
So the things can move along the bridges. Let me say that again. You have bridges all across the cell that bridge together. They're little highways that bridge together different parts of the cell.
I really don't want to harp on the bad presentation much more, but don't worry, she does get to something more interesting soon, I promise. But if you're going to take forever to say something, please, for the love of God doesn't exist, don't repeat it. You're a video, we promise. We can rewind you if you get too fast and furious with that incredible pace, friend.
There's something called motor proteins that attach to receptors on vesicles, because you have little bags of stuff. As the cell makes things, it makes things like hormones, and there's different stuff. And the motor proteins can literally walk across this.
So I think I know where she's going with this. It's something that, for some reason, creationists love to post on social media as if it proves something, other than that's a thing that happens, presumably. Apparently thinking that somehow we should be amazed that walking, a thing that most of us very well understand at the human scale, also happens at the teeny tiny scale. Therefore God. But no, why would we expect anything other than the various mechanics in nature happen in nature, regardless of the scale? It would be far more amazing if there was a little guy in a car doing donuts, holding up a sign that said God does the real.
You're telling me this happened by blind processes without an intelligent mind?
Well, presuming, and probably rightly so, that what you mean by blind is random, with no possibility of directions. No, we aren't telling you that, because evolution via natural selection is not a blind process in that sense. It is in fact guided by environmental forces. Forces that, mind you, stretch beyond just there are taller trees or various predators to hide from, but also exist inside the animals. Better functioning cells are also selected for. A cell that starts off with some rudimentary movement is better suited for the job of moving stuff than another, and the cell that's quicker at that, well, it's much the same. It doesn't need an intelligent mind. The creature with more efficient internal processes is going to be able to pass on those genes than the one that couldn't get energy or blood or whatever around its body effectively. It's all the same thing at different scales, and none of it requires a mind to function. So I guess you're half right, but still all wrong.
Are you serious? Then my parents are like, why does she cuss on YouTube? Are you serious?
Are you serious? You're going to talk about cussing and then not even give me a good twat bag or cock womble or fuck stick. Very, very disappointing. And so incredulity is it. You can't understand how natural processes work, therefore other people that do must be so crazy that apparently you use swear words and upset your parents. The weirdest part of that being, your parents watch your videos? What, do they have literally nothing better to do? I mean, I'm not saying that my videos are good, but they are definitely better than yours. I had to edit yours for you. And my parents would never watch mine. And bloody good job too, because it lets me say that they are a pair of right cock wombling twat baggy fuck sticks. And they will never know, lol lol lol, take that society.
You really want me to believe that this happened through random trial and error plus natural selection?
Trial and error is not random, you fucking half-wit. It is literally a process of elimination. Processes are not random, and it's called selection for a reason. And also it's called survival of the fittest for a reason. Fit never meant healthy, it meant fits a niche. And things don't fit into niches by accident, the same way as a baby mindlessly jamming blocks into the shape toy, eventually getting the square shape into the square hole, isn't a choice by that baby. There just wasn't any other shape that would fit. Well, aside of all of them sometimes, but you get my point.
Don't Don't be like, oh, it's not trial and error. Yes, it is. That's what random mutations and natural selections is. Trial and error.
No one is saying that it isn't trial and error. They are saying that it isn't a random process. Even if no one is choosing anything specifically, that does not make it random. Even with elements of it that are in no way prescripted. Shocking that a person who is offering a free education by reading a book far too advanced for them is actually just attempting to discredit an idea they very obviously don't understand.
Are you telling me that this was put together by blind processes?
Well, aside from the fact that put together implies a finished product, which it most certainly is not, cells like those will continue to change so long as life exists. But sure, if we are defining blind process as non-random but with no specific mind behind them, then yes, absolutely, because that's what they are and how they work. And you making a slightly disgusted, incredulous face about it only serves to make you look like a moron, and not that you are somehow in possession of greater knowledge than literally everyone else.
I mean, you're free to believe whatever you want. Don't teach that nonsense at university.
So don't teach accurate science and the explanations that we have come to based on endless research that in fact gave you the information you are attempting to use to discredit it to the people who will go on to take that information and create newer, even more accurate and useful ideas and so on and so forth forever. No thanks, I'll pass. Your failure to understand and accept scientific facts is not a replacement for a functional brain. Quite the opposite, in fact. And let me guess, they should definitely teach utter, indemonstrable bullshit, because it comes from your book, though, that was written by scientific illiterates from the stupid ages. Good call.
Random trial and error and natural selection came up with a bridge that bridges together different organelles.
Okay, fine then. Tell me how that could not happen. I mean, I can explain to you the process that would result in such a thing, but I want you to explain me how that's not possible. But do bear in mind that making a face and shrugging is not a replacement for either an argument or actual scientific facts. Seriously, it's amazing that it's this alleged swearing that bothers your parents, when being an embarrassing moron would be way higher on my list of things to have disappointment in you about.
And then you wonder why the world is so messed up.
Aside from the fact that that's a total non sequitur, it's the opposite that causes the vast majority of the problems that we have. Ignorant little dipshits who refuse to understand facts about the world and genuinely believe that some Bronze Age nonsense would do a far better job somehow. Talk about fucking projection.
If the most intelligent people in society go to university, pay money to get told that the most brilliant technology in the universe was put together by random trial and error and natural selection.
Oh my god, doesn't exist. Yes, smart people pay money to be taught facts, more or less. I know, it's such a tragedy. Maybe if your parents had loved you enough, they would send you to get the same education, and then you wouldn't be making a spectacle of yourself on the internet, forcing them to love you even less than they already don't.
By mistake, a bridge formed, and then natural selection selected for it. Are you serious?
Mistake? What? How could it possibly be a mistake? No one is doing it. How can a process that isn't doing something on purpose make mistakes? You know what? Never mind. You are technically a result of that process, and...
You know, if you weren't serious, it would be better. This was put together by an intelligent mind.
The irony police must be attending an intelligent design conference or something today, because wow, yeah, it would be so much less embarrassing if this was just a bit you were doing just to show how stupid fucking creationists sound. Unfortunately, no. And was it? Okay, prove it, without rapidly tapping the picture and shouting, "Because I think it looks designed."
Or it wasn't put together by an intelligent mind. I'm just stupid.
Finally, something that we can all agree on. You are just stupid. But that's not even a problem, really. It is okay to be a dumb piece of shit. The issue comes when you decide that everyone else on the planet must be wrong because of it. Since you can't fathom how something could happen without this being literally fucking magic. Love that. She genuinely thinks the idea that she's a fucking moron is so beyond the realms of possibility, it shouldn't even be considered. While again, not having the education needed to understand how she's so wrong and is in fact very fucking stupid. The profoundly ignorant can never fathom the sheer depths of their own ignorance.
Okay, that's all for today. Look up the cytoskeleton. That's all for today, class. You're dismissed. Now go and do something intelligent. Like pray to the God who made that. And be like, God, that's freaking genius. Can you help fix my life?
Aside from the fact that that's so dumb, even if that was the conclusion of today, God did the cell, the fuck makes you think that just because a God may have done that they either want prayers or, more importantly, give a single shit about you? I mean, come on. If they did, I seriously doubt you'd be this much of a dipshit.
See you tomorrow, class. Or in another 10 minutes, whenever I feel like making a class. And show up. Because this has implications for the world. If God really does exist, and our universities are teaching us stupid nonsense, it's not the word I wanted to use. I wanted to use the S word. There are children here watching.
If God is real, I think he has more to worry about than the fact humans figured out how his shit works. And yeah, I did it, because children shouldn't be watching this. Either of us. Me, because I am a massive asshole, and you, because you're a total dumbass. Fucking S word. Grow up.
Children who apparently can handle being told that no one cared enough about them to make them. No, it's random mutations and natural selection. But they might find the S word offensive.
Kids don't find words offensive, and they don't find accurate ideas upsetting on their own. It's only when you teach them that either of those things are bad that they will get upset about it. That's the nature of offense. It's entirely arbitrary to the person being offended, not a fact about reality. Now, that doesn't mean that it has no place or doesn't mean anything, especially to the person. But when I'm going to be offended by you touching my whiskey, it's because it's my whiskey. No one else is under any obligation to give a shit.
Because this S that comes out of the other end of my body, that's offensive. But saying that God didn't make this is not offensive, it shouldn't be offensive.
As with all things, it depends on where you do it. If you shit on my face, I'm probably going to be a tad upset. But if you do it in a toilet, that's fine, so long as you fucking flush. Same way, I am not surprised you find the idea that you don't understand offensive. Because you're, what was it again?
I'm just stupid.
Yeah, that. And I don't find it offensive because I'm not that. Well, not as much that as you are. But come on, I'm only one horror. I can only be so good at absolutely everything. Someone was bound to be dumber than me. Come on.
If you actually believe that, you are stupid. Or just an absolute coward, because you can't stand up to the big scientist when he tells you that what about the fossil evidence?
Well then call me big stupid scaredy McS-word, because you're not going to shame me into agreeing with your objective wrongness, especially when you randomly throw in a massive piece of evidence for my position right at the end for absolutely no reason. You may think that's all a denigration on me, but it's yet more evidence of the absolute clown show that is your supposed brain.
Alright, losers. Have a good day, or don't. You probably deserve to have a bad day if you fail to attribute this to the one who made you. Bye-bye.
It is so weird being called a loser by possibly the biggest loser I think I've ever seen. Guess it takes one to know one. Bye!